Good morning, everyone. It is 7 a.m. my time, Eastern Standard Time. Welcome to Coffee Time with the Harmonica Man. I just finished a cup and starting this stream, I didn't have enough time to make another cup. I don't have a coffee pot. I do one cup at a time. Had an all-nighter pretty much, a tossing and turning and not sleeping. So, might as well get right up and do something. And right now it's about chatting, I guess. However, I guess I could set the computer down for just a second and get my harmonicas and start playing those. I'll have coffee a little bit later. I'll finish up my second cup later. Give me just a second. Nobody's here right now watching anyway, so I'm not missing anything, right? Uno pimentos. Ta-da. And that. And there's that. Oh, Mr. Bunny Rabbit out there. In case you're wondering about the silly hat, it's a sleeping hat. Why do I have a sleeping hat? Because it's a little chilly this morning and I have a bald head. So, got to cover up something, right? Excuse me, I don't want to blow my nose in front of you, but you know, if you don't, you're going to see boogers. Nobody wants to see harmonica boogers. If you get a chance, go to Tales from the Far Side. It's the Far Side comics from the newspaper. You know, they got the one block segment, these funny pictures, and they usually have like one sentence explaining everything. Usually got some elephant stomping on somebody's head or something. Pretty funny stuff. But yeah, it's called Tales from the Far Side, and it's on YouTube. And it's like whole cartoons and stuff with them actually doing, you know, whatever cartoon shows do. It's pretty funny shit. I was watching that this morning a little bit. Just getting a kick out of it. Simple humor. Clean. However, I'll give this a few more minutes. It usually takes people an average of 7 minutes. 7 minutes to get the notifications from YouTube, and sometimes with me it takes like 15 minutes or 20 before I get mine. So I'm just going to do a little bit of playing. So you got one person watching right now. It's probably just me watching my own crap. Let me see. No, I don't want to hear that one. Let's go to my library. I want to get some. Let's see. Backing tracks. There we go. I got some new backing tracks. I wanted to kind of experiment with them. I got like 100 of them, so I'm gonna have to scroll through. They're really nice to practice with. Let me see. Let's go with Rock Blues Backing Track by Gillard Perry.
There's a terrible curse that plagues guitar players once they reach the intermediate stage. I call it guitar playing limbo.
Oopsie. Huh, that kind of dry mouth. Morning, Paul. Hey, how do you cook toilet paper? You just brown it on one side, that's all. Let's do a little bit of first position. Back to second. Now third position. There it is. Okay. That was fun for me. Morning.
Morning. I was just reading my book while I was listening to you.
See that? So, what do you think of it?
I've only just started it actually, but yeah, it's quite interesting. I haven't read books for years, but yeah, I've got quite into it, so I'll have to to get through it.
I figured I'd write a fun one.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be quite fun. Yeah. So I'm drinking tea. I'm not a coffee drinker.
Oh, yeah. I am in the morning, but I can only have 2 cups. But in the evening, I like to drink tea. You know, it kind of opens me up and everything, so I can play and sing and talk because I'm on a few different shows playing. And I usually have some warm tea if I don't have some whiskey or something. I can't afford that stuff anyways. So last night I had some Earl Grey and then some Sleepy Time tea. Oh shit, I had 3 or 4 cups of different flavors. Lemon, orange spice. Well, I just love the stuff. It's real good.
I mean, the tea that I drink is mainly your well, it's what I would class as like normal tea. You know, the ones that are like minty flavored, or you can get certain fruity flavored teas and stuff like that, and herbal teas. I don't drink them. I just drink. I don't know what it's called. Just traditional tea. I actually get mine delivered.
Yeah, like the black tea with the caffeine.
Yeah, well, like your, I suppose a bit similar to like your Earl Greys and your breakfast tea, that type of stuff. So with mine, I make it with obviously boiling water, tea bag, and milk. I used to have sugar in tea, but the wife eventually got me off the sugar, so I now have it without sugar. Which, to be honest, once you've drunk it 2 or 3 times, you can't actually tell the difference. When I drink this, I cannot tell the difference to how it was 2 or 3 years ago when I used to have sugar in it. And if I put sugar in it now, it'd probably be that sweet.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah. I drink tea now without sugar.
I got the sugar thing going on still, but I think I'm going to have to try it otherwise. I never put milk or cream or anything in my tea, but yeah, I think I'm going to try it just because I'm a diabetic and
yeah, I suppose it depends on what sort of tea Yeah, I was going to say it depends what sort of tea you're drinking, because let's say if it's one of these herbal teas, minty type teas and stuff like that, yeah, I mean you wouldn't put milk in them. It's I should have some up here. Like I say, we get ours delivered. An old traditional thing from years ago. My mother used to get tea delivered, and it's from a company called Ringtons, and basically they come like that. So this is like a breakfast.
Oh yeah.
One. So that's what I
don't have that here. But I do have a box of Irish breakfast tea, and all it is really is just a black tea. And I'm just about out of that. So maybe I'll get some more when I go to the store today. Oh, by the way, happy birthday.
Oh, yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, it's my birthday today. Yeah, I hope you can join me later on this evening if you can. It'll be 9 o'clock my time. I don't know what time that'll be your time, because what time is it? It's 12:15 here now at the moment. So it'll be another 8 hours, 45 minutes, and I'm going to do a live stream. So if anybody wants to jump in, even if it's just to say hello, whatever, and just spend 5 minutes. Because obviously I'm a bit bothered. I think
it's like 3 p.m. here.
Yeah, it might be. Just I'm a bit nervous that I might end up going doing a live stream, and I'm sat there by myself talking to myself, and I'll be like, oh God, that'd be a bit embarrassing.
I do that all the time. like I was saying earlier, it usually takes about 10 minutes for people to get the notifications that I'm on here. And even if I advertise, like I advertised all week for my other channel, Shedding Mysticism, but I only had one person on there from Australia.
To be
and that
honest,
was it.
I'd seen you advertising that, and I was going to tune in when it went live, and I didn't get any notifications that it had gone live. I mean, I got notifications for this, and I got notifications for the one they did yesterday, but for your mysticism one, I didn't get any notifications for. But I knew you were doing it because I'd seen you mention it, and I thought, oh, when the notification
Well,
comes up, I'll watch.
It's a whole other channel. I'm going to start putting it in the description in this channel.
Right.
That way, because, and I'm going to go through and sub to all my, community friends that, I got on this channel anyways. That way they could, if they want to, they can hop over and, get notifications from my other channel. And it's, I kind of want to have an intellectual discussion.
I did subscribe to it. I'm sure I did. Because I saw, when you were advertising it, I think put a link in one of your advert in one of your streams, and I went to it and I clicked on it, and I never got no notification. So I'll look back at that and I'll watch it, because to be honest, I've forgotten.
I'll share.
Yeah, I've forgotten when it was you were doing it. Yeah, I've forgotten when it was you were doing it, and I remember clicking on the, where you can click on Remind Me. I clicked on that, but I've had no notification since then that you've done it. So I'll have to go back and watch it. Yeah, it's a bit funny. Sometimes junk shops, it won't come up with a notification for me. And of course, I'll know that he's going live at 8 o'clock my time before he started his job, because he had a regular slot. So I would look at my phone or whatever, and there'd be no notification to say Junk Shot had gone live. And I thought, well, I'm sure he said he was going to. So I go onto his channel, and sure enough, it was already live, but I've got no notifications. And then, of course, about an hour after
I do that
finished,
too.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
And sometimes it's even somebody will go live and they'll only have a half-hour show, and then it's like I'll get the notification and they said, oh yeah, they streamed a half hour ago on the banner, and it's like, okay, why didn't I get the notification right then and there so I could catch them and comment and help the person out, but nope.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's weird.
I've had exactly the same. Yeah, I've had exactly the same thing with Junk Shop. I know he's been going live, and no notification. I've gone onto his channel. He's already live, say maybe 5-10 minutes into his stream, but I've had no notifications. I'll watch him for an hour. He'll finish, and then an hour or two later, I'll pick my phone up and there'll be a notification to say that Junk Shop's going live, and I'll get it an hour after he's already gone live. Weird. It's just
what I'll do sometimes. You ever saw Neil, the 604 Atheist show?
Oh, yes, I've watched a few of his, yeah.
He usually puts it in Twitter to announce his show that afternoon, who he's going to have on there. And then 24 hours later, I'll get the notification saying, join me tonight for so-and-so going to be on the show. And it's like, I watched that already last night. Between YouTube and Twitter, they're not communicating correctly with their timing somehow. So you won't get the notifications on Twitter.
Personally, I blame YouTube, because it should sort itself out, because it's them that you're going live on, and it's them that are putting out the notifications, and you're just not getting them. And then sometimes you'll get notifications on a regular basis, and everything seems to be going fine. And then you'll come across something like this where you'd advertised it, I've noticed it, I'd clicked on reminder, and never heard anything else back from it.
Yeah, it's just strange how, and hopefully a lot of people get the notification for your birthday stream later on.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's going to be, got Shimmer Soul saying it's raining in Tennessee. I don't know if you're going to have snow down there again or not, but I don't know what's going to happen here. I haven't checked the weather in a few days. Haven't been out of the house in a few days. Haven't needed to, got plenty of food, coffee. Don't need to go anywhere. But I have a winner on the giveaway yesterday that I had. It was, yep, Von Rick. So that is going to go out in the mail today. That's going to be pretty exciting. You know, when they get that.
You hadn't had that harmonica that long ago, had you? It was a relatively new harmonica.
Yeah, it is. I just didn't like the way the action was because it's a different brand. And I mean, it's top quality harmonica. It really is. It's just that, but you know, I just had no use for it really once I figured out all the notes and displacement of the reed, you know, flip flops and stuff that they put in a special tuning. And I thought, you know, this is really good for somebody who wants to play just blues and just learning how to bend the notes. But it's, you know, it's not for me. I just like the Honers, you know, the special 20s, because I'm comfortable and I like to have consistency. I don't want to have to grab something that's going to make me have a different embouchure and use different muscles in my jaw and stuff like that all together. It's just like starting all over again. And I'm at the position now to where if I miss a note or something like that, people's going to know it. You know, because I want to have that consistency so I can play at a professional level without, you know, having to tweak something so I don't sound like crap.
Yeah, I suppose if you're using one harmonica and this other one has a slightly different setup, you're gonna have to be. Just I suppose it's like anything, isn't it? Like you're playing an harmonica or you're playing any instrument. In the end, it becomes like muscle memory. Whereas you're not having to really concentrate on it. You're automatically going to do it. Whereas if you've got a different harmonica, which means that you have to remember to play it that slightly different way, you're going to have to be conscious all the time. And if you go back to your normal muscle memory, you're going to make the mistakes because you're going to play it like you have done with all your other harps that you've played. So yeah, I can understand why you wouldn't want to change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly
it
why.
It makes sense. Yeah. I mean, when I used to mess about with mine, not that I was really very good, but you know, the tunes that I could sort of like play, I got to a point where I didn't need to have to look at the tabs or anything. I could just play it. But if I had to tell somebody how I was doing it or what even note number I was playing, I couldn't tell them. Like I say, it's just muscle memory. You get that used to doing something that you can do it automatically without thinking. Oh, see, the grey man's turned up. Hi, the grey man. I was on a.
We got another.
First tea of the day, good man. That's what you want, fella. Cup of tea, not coffee. I'm a tea drinker, not a coffee drinker.
We're heathens.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
We are heathens over here on this side of the pond.
Yeah, I agree. You've got to have your tea, not coffee. You used to drink coffee years ago. My mother. I'm hoping that washing machine is going to finish shortly. I don't know if you can hear it. The washing machine's just gone on to spin.
Oh, I can't hear it.
Oh, right, that's good then. Yeah, my mother, when we was kids, when I was like 6, 7 year old, just before we went to bed, my mother used to go into the kitchen and she used to make a milky coffee for all us kids. So we'd all have a milky coffee and we might have some like cream crackers and cheese or something like that. So we'd have a couple of cream crackers and a hot cup of coffee. And that was basically, you know, within half an hour to an hour of getting that brought in, we knew we were going to bed. It was sort of to get us ready for bed. So yeah, I used to drink coffee as a kid all the time. Like I say, going to bed, and then as I got older, I went onto the tea or started drinking the tea all the time, and I never drink coffee. We do have some coffee here, but basically only because I bought it a couple of weeks ago. Because when people turn up, sometimes they might want a coffee. Especially my sister, she drinks coffee all the time, so we've got coffee in for that. But me personally, unless I've totally run out of tea, then I will have a cup of coffee. But if I've got a choice between coffee or tea, it's tea every time.
Oh, yeah. See, I'd rather take the coffee usually. But I grew up in a cabin, and well, up until the time I was 12, we grew up in a small town, and our old house, it was my grandmother's house. That when she died, my parents moved in. My mother was the oldest, and wound up helping raising some of her younger siblings. And a lot of people would get together for the holidays, and they'd just have just pots of coffee galore. And that's when I started drinking coffee with them because, just because. And then when I got a little bit older, it just kind of stuck, in the morning having coffee, and been around a lot of hunters and things like that. And we'd get up and we'd have like leftover potatoes and venison for breakfast. And summer sausage and things like that, and a cup of coffee, with eggs or in toast, whatever, a lot of times. But my favorite times were when all the hunters would come up and from the cities, and then we'd all camp out on my property or whatever, and then they'd go deer hunting. Then after that, they'd come back in the evening, and then we'd all hop in a van and then go to the bars and go. And I'd wind up having to drive most of them home. 14, 15 years old, I'd have to drive. But yeah, we'd go to the pubs, get drunk.
I see the grey man's just put in his comments there. That's why Americans are so jittery with all the coffee that you drink.
That is true. We are addicted to it.
You might have a point. Where's the grey man from? Where's he from? If you don't know, you can put it in the chat so I can see where you're from. Are you in the UK as well?
Yeah, he is.
Wondered, UK,
I just can't remember where.
Is more than likely going to be a tea drinker then, yeah. Like he says, the wife's phoning me. Looks like we might be picking her up. I'll just say, I bet she's. I pick her up at 1 o'clock, so I bet she's finished early. Oh yeah. Oh, you're finishing at 10 to 8. Yeah, a couple of minutes. I'll set off. All right. See you in a bit. Bye. Yeah, it's the wife. She's at work. I normally pick her up at 1 o'clock. She said to pick her up at 1 o'clock, but she's just phoned there to say she's finishing at 10 to 1. So I'll be setting off in a minute to go pick her up.
Yep, I understand.
Yeah, I thought. London. The grey man's in London. So yeah, I'm miles away from you, grey man. I am up in Yorkshire, as you might be able to tell with my accent. So yeah, I'm in Yorkshire. I'm Scarborough on the east coast. So that's where I am. So yeah, London for me will be about. Will depend on traffic. It'll probably be a 3 to 4 hour drive to get down to London from where I am.
One day I'll be able to come over there and see everything. Just not anytime soon.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't mind going over to America, seeing America at some point. I've been to Canada. I've been to Canada a few times. When I was in the forces, we used to go to Canada. Well, when I was in Germany, we were part of what was called a mechanized battalion, which was like the small tanks. So we used to go to Canada every year for the 5 years I was there. So every year we'd spend 6 to 8 weeks in Canada, up in a place called Medicine Hat, and a place called Batters, which Batters used to stand for British Army Training Unit Suffield. So it was a big Canadian base, and we used to all turn up there and then go out onto the prairies, and we'd be there for like, let's say, 6 to 8 weeks. But within that 6 to 8 weeks period, we would spend 80% of it out on the prairie on exercise, and then we'd end up with a week or so, maybe even a fortnight, where we'd do like adventure training and stuff like that. on one of the trips that I was there, we went to Jasper, which is if you're looking at the map, it would be towards the Rocky Mountains. In fact, it's part of the Rocky Mountains is Jasper. And we used to go there. We used to do whitewater rafting, abseiling, canoeing, that sort of thing. And we'd spend a week up there. So yeah, I quite enjoyed Canada. So I actually wouldn't mind visiting the USA, so to speak, at some point. I know the wife, she's like American.
I've never been to Canada. I've heard of all those places. I want to go there too. I've never been out of the country, and I did most of my training on Fort Bragg, there in North Carolina on the east. The East Coast, and it's I don't know. I really haven't been too many places unless I was going to another post for training, and it was usually in the south part of it, in the swampy areas. And the closest I've ever got to the Rocky Mountains was Wyoming.
Right.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is your country is such a big country that I suppose a lot of Americans don't particularly go abroad as such. Whereas the UK, with it being basically a small island, really, is the UK. I think from Land's End to John O'Groats, which is top end of Scotland, is probably just short of about 900 miles. So from one end of the country to the top, it is about 900 miles ish, thereabouts. And obviously, just over the water, you're into Europe. So, I mean, me personally, when I was in the army, I did Northern Ireland. Well, these are the places where I've been: Northern Ireland, Bosnia, Kosovo, Sierra Leone, Kenya, Oman, Germany, Poland, Canada. They're the ones that I can think of my head. And obviously, in between that, myself, I've been to France, I've been to Spain, I've been to Belgium, I've been to Holland.
Oh, wow.
So
that's a lot of places.
Yeah, but it's just I think it's just to the fact that at where we're located, it's quite easy to nip over to France. Quite a lot of people,
right?
They'll go over. We can get like a day trip. Well, it's not a day trip; it's actually done over 2 days. And what you do is you go over on a ferry. You'd sail overnight over to France on the ferry. In fact, it wasn't France we went to; it was Belgium. Yeah, we used to sail over to Belgium, spend the day in Belgium, and then come back onto the ferry on the evening. So you spend about 8 or 9 hours in Belgium, 8, 9, 10 hours or whatever it was on the ferry sailing over there overnight. So you'd sail overnight, day in Belgium, back on the ferry, overnight, back over. So you do it for a weekend, and it would cost virtually nothing to do it. You're talking £25, £30 each. So it'd be like £60.
That ain't bad.
No, not bad at all. And what you do is, the idea behind it was, because we were obviously part of the EU at the time. We're not anymore, obviously, but at the time we were part of the EU. So what you could do is you could go over to, sorry, not to France. I keep saying France, but in France. Just go to Belgium. Go over to Belgium for the day, over a 2-day period, and then you get all basically your duty-free cigarettes and your spirits or booze or whatever, and it was all duty-free. So you get your cigarettes for literally less than half the price of what you buy them over here. So you basically bulk buy cigarettes for yourself or booze.
Yeah.
Get it cheap, and what you saved would actually cover you on the cost of the ferry over there. So you basically got a free trip over there and cheap booze and stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of people used to do that. I don't know how that's going to work now, obviously, with us leaving the EU. Oh. And then obviously, if you go down to, I forgot whereabouts it is now. I used to do it all the time. Basically, where the Channel Tunnel is, you can get down to, I forgot where it is. Is it? I'll be lying.
I can't remember where I saw on TV where it was.
And basically, that used to be really good. They did that. You basically drive down to the Channel Tunnel. You stayed in your car. You drove onto the train itself. And when you was in the train, you might have like a carriage that might have 2 or 3 cars in it. you could tune your radio into the radio on the train, so you'd have the radio coming over, which would give you announcements and something like that. And once you set off, it was literally 20-25 minutes, and you was in France. It was no time at all. And
nice.
It was, at the time when I used to do it, yeah, Dover. At the time when I used to do it, there was very little time you had to wait. You didn't used to have to book your tickets or anything. You could just turn up like catching a train. And quite often, when we lived in Germany, we used to do what we used to. Yeah, of course it's in Dover. That's why we used to call it the Dover Dash. That's what we used to call it, the Dover Dash. We used to drive from Germany. We used to drive from Germany, Belgium, into France, jump on the Channel Tunnel, off at Dover, and then up to here. And I think it was to take me from leaving Germany to arriving up here would take me about 12 hours. So I could get, so basically from leaving Germany to arriving up in Yorkshire would take me about 12 hours to do the trip. And we used to quite often come back and maybe just spend 5 or 6 days back in the UK or whatever it'd be, and then back down, back over on the ferry and back into Germany. And like I say, you could do the trip 25 minutes on the Channel Tunnel. That was it.
Oh, that sounds pretty exciting.
Yeah, but like
I guess I'm going to have to let this go so I could get another cup of coffee and get my medications. Yeah.
I'm going to have to go anyway because
mad at you.
Yeah, I'll have to set off now anyway. So yeah, no worries. So yeah, I hope we can jump in tonight, and even if it's just for 5 minutes, just to say hello, that'll be appreciated.
Yeah, I'll most likely be online at that time, so I'll come in.
Yeah, right, brilliant.
All right,
anyway,
we'll see you
I'll
then.
Catch you later. Have a good one. Catch you later. Bye.
You too. Okay. For those else who's listening in, this has been Coffee with a Harmonica Man. But as always, remember,